When Operation Epic Fury launched, Washington promised a rapid, decisive victory. Instead, the United States Navy is currently retreating from the Persian Gulf. The entire military campaign relied on a single strategic assumption: a decapitation strike. Planners believed that taking out top Iranian leadership and key physical infrastructure would cause the government to instantly crumble. This approach has roots in decades-old regional blueprints, like the Yinon Plan, which advocated fracturing Middle Eastern states to secure Western dominance. Domestic political pressures finally pushed this long-standing desire for regime change into active military engagement. But the bombs fell on a fatal misunderstanding. The operation failed because American planners completely misjudged how their enemy's power structure actually works. Military strategist Robert Pape calls this the escalation trap. It happens when a massive military strike, designed to swiftly assert dominance and control, backfires and triggers a systemic loss of control instead. Epic Fury treated Iran like a brittle, top-down pyramid. In reality, it operates as a highly decentralized matrix. Killing a central leader doesn't end the threat. It acts as a circuit breaker, elevating aggressive hardliners highly incentivized to retaliate. Rather than surrendering, Tehran unleashed a decentralized nightmare. They activated independent proxy militias across the region and deployed swarms of cheap drones, a dispersed threat the U.S. military cannot fight with conventional tactics. The bombardment failed to secure a quick victory. It trapped American forces in an unwinnable conflict against a rapidly regenerating, far more extreme adversary. Recognizing they could not match American firepower in a traditional battle, Iranian forces changed the rules of engagement. They weaponized geography, focusing their asymmetrical attacks directly on the Strait of Hormuz. Using highly effective $50,000 drones, rudimentary sea mines, and widespread GPS jamming, they established a de facto blockade across this narrow, critical transit corridor. The immediate result was absolute gridlock. Shipping lines suspended their routes, leaving 20% of the world's daily oil supply suddenly trapped in the Gulf, entirely unable to move. Overwhelming naval superiority means very little when billion-dollar destroyers are highly vulnerable to swarms of expendable, remote-controlled explosives. The target map quickly expanded outward. To bleed the United States indirectly, Iranian forces began striking the wealthy Gulf states, the supposedly safe oases of calm that serve as America's regional economic life support. Precision strikes systematically dismantled vital economic nodes. Qatar was forced to completely halt production of liquid natural gas, a supercooled fuel critical for global energy grids, while direct hits damaged key Amazon data centers in the United Arab Emirates. The human toll threatens to be apocalyptic. By targeting coastal desalination plants, which convert seawater to drinking water, millions of civilians in desert cities like Riyadh could be left completely without water in just 2 weeks. Transforming these pristine economic hubs into toxic war zones shatters the illusion of Gulf stability. It effectively neutralizes America's primary financial and strategic partners in the Middle East. As the blockade holds, global energy markets are panicking. Oil shipments are stalled, pushing prices past $119 a barrel. But the ultimate casualty of this crisis is the U.S. dollar. For decades, global finance has relied on petrodollar recycling. Gulf nations sell their massive oil reserves exclusively in U.S. dollars. They then funnel that cash directly back into the American stock market to build their sovereign wealth. With the Gulf essentially closed for business, that massive capital pipeline vanishes. This sudden lack of incoming foreign investment actively starves the American tech and AI sectors of the cash keeping their massive valuations afloat. The secondary shocks reach far beyond energy and tech. Gulf nations export roughly 35% of the world's fertilizer. Halting those shipments severely threatens crop yields, setting the stage for a severe global food crisis. The escalation trap ultimately reveals itself as a financial self-destruct sequence, collapsing dollar-based financial capital and crashing the broader U.S. economy. Rival superpowers like China and Russia do not need to intervene directly. They are patiently watching the United States isolate itself, drain its military resources, and severely damage the standing of its own reserve currency. By falling blindly into this trap, Washington is functionally self-evicting from the Middle East, accelerating the decline of its status as the world's sole dominant superpower. A military campaign launched to secure Western dominance and force regime change achieved the exact opposite. It broke the petrodollar system and birthed a new multipolar world order.